Okay, commute time means visual novel time. Just what the hell was that? What is this guy doing? Oh shit, what am I looking at? Some people argue that visual novels are in a decline, and from a statistical viewpoint, they may indeed get overshadowed by other game genres as time passes. However, I'm of the opinion that there will always be a demand for visual novels, and us weebs are known to be very faithful and devoted consumers, so I'm not necessarily worried about it. As for me, I will keep playing VNs until I let out my last breath in my coffin, and the reasons why I'm favoring them so much are quite obvious actually. First, let's quickly bring up the concept of active and passive activities. Active activities involve actively taking part in it, such as playing a sport, making art, or cooking, can be categorized as active activities. Passive activities, on the other hand, involves effortlessly consuming something without any input from you. Examples include listening to music, watching movies or anime. In the case of visual novels, I'd say clicking to continue the text and thus setting the pace at which you want to read the story qualifies it as an active activity. Considering a lot of visual novels feature different routes, good endings, bad endings, and different route structures or even gameplay phases, it's way easier to be emotionally invested in a visual novel story by having the possibility to make your own decisions that will influence the story. Personally, I try not to rely too much on guides, at least for my first playthroughs, because directly picking a choice without any consideration for the context just makes the experience less immersive to me. But I perfectly understand if you use guides to get all the endings without wasting any time. In my opinion, actively consuming a story is the best way to enjoy it. Taking the time to read and click to show the next line is similar to turning over a page in a book. It enables you to assimilate the information more easily and pause and go back to a scene you didn't understand whenever you want. It provides much more agency for the reader than, say, anime or even other video game genres, as there are no rewind features in most of them. Having control over the pace at which you read a story definitely makes it more digestible and comes with benefits. For example, visual novels were a big help for me back when my English proficiency was very, let's say, deficient. Since English is only my second language, I had to take the time to pause my reading when I encountered a word I didn't know and translate it using my phone. Nowadays, softwares like Luna Translator make it much easier. Having an instant translation on a second monitor while the game is open on the main screen is a much more efficient process. I'm currently applying this process to learning simplified Chinese, and it's working just fine so far. Additionally, I don't know about you guys, but my undeniable and unequivocal self-diagnosis as an ADHD person makes staying still and watching something passively really boring to me. Playing visual novels at least forces me to focus only on the act of reading. This way, I can give my full attention to what's happening while still being actively involved in the plot. You may argue, rightfully, that auto mods exist, and I do acknowledge their existence. As far as I can remember, I've never used this feature, and I always regarded it as an extra feature for people wanting to read visual novels passively. And let's not forget quality of life features such as font swapping, the log jump back feature, or quick saves, all present to make the experience much more enjoyable and accessible. Okay, let's get to the true meat of this video. Since most visual novels can only rely on static sprites and backgrounds to tell the story with little gameplay to boot, unlike anime series with smooth animations or manga with diverse and dynamic panels, visual novels compensate with exquisite character sprites and gorgeous background images, as well as well-developed characters and elaborate plots. It's very common to find long scenes in visual novels, and that's because, similarly to light novels, the use of words can go a long way toward developing characters' thoughts and motivations. One scene that would last 2 minutes in an anime instantly turns into a 30-minute soliloquy in a visual novel. And the long scenes don't equal understimulating or not engaging. Visual novels have been through massive technical improvements over the years, some visual novels having beautiful animations or even entirely animated visual novels. This, combined with the level of detail in the script, just makes the process of reading much more enjoyable and not as tedious as one may think at first glance. You may argue that more light-hearted visual novels, such as Moege, may not bring the same level of world building or plot development, since their main purpose is relaxation. But here is another advantage visual novels have over any other medium. You waited for this, I waited for this. Eroticism in media has always been some kind of taboo among the general public and has always been more of an underground thing. Besides porn, I've never seen a medium so proud of featuring H scenes as visual novels. You can expect almost any visual novel targeted to men to contain multiple H scenes for every heroine, and this brings a level of intimacy outright impossible to find in other media. Visual novels are the only medium in which you can expect deep emotional connection with characters while witnessing the raunchiest, the nastiest, the dirtiest scenes imaginable. Regarding music, I can't tell you how much I love visual novel soundtracks. Soundtracks in visual novels are typically more elaborate than in anime, since composers know full well players will be reading through long scenes with the same soundtrack in the background. Therefore, the music must be both elaborate in order to keep the player engaged, while also having a loopy value. Personally, visual novel soundtracks take the lion's share of my music playlist. You can generally expect even the most niche visual novels to at least have good music. I feel like I'm always the only one listening to visual novel music in public transport, while everyone else is listening to mainstream songs. But well, I love it, so what else can I say? Now, if you agree or disagree with me, feel free to share your opinion in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.